Hello again, this is Laura from Front Office Rocks, and I'm with Rohit from Practice by Numbers, and we are collaborating on this amazing software because I have started using this in my practice, my dental office in San Diego, and love it. It is making such a huge change in my practice, but there's so much data in Practice by Numbers, it can be overwhelming. So what we're doing is making videos to try to break it down for the basic office manager like myself who's trying to know what is in this software and how can I improve it better in my practice. So we're on the home screen right now, but I'm going to actually ask Rohit to go to the PracticeIQ because we pull a lot of data out for us to run our practice within this software. But there's so much data, it's really hard to find. So I've asked him to just kind of go over with us. There's a menu on the left-hand side of this screen. And I know that this menu will get me to different statistics that I need to track in the practice, but I'm having problems finding things. So I thought, well, he knows the brains behind this. Maybe he can show me what each one of these means. So when I know I'm going to look for a specific thing, I'll better understand what each of these categories mean. So I'm going to turn it over to you to just give us an overview of what each one of these areas mean and, you know, what kind of statistics, what kind of data we would find in each category.
Right, absolutely. And it's a great question. And we have actually worked through this over the alpha and the beta program of our software when we were testing it, and got feedback from lots of people on how to organize this. Now, this is how it's organized right now, which we think is a pretty good way. And as time moves on, things are and things will evolve as well. But where we stand today, what we have done is we have taken home, anything above this line over here is all your custom dashboards. Okay, so you can create any number of custom dashboards. Everything you see above this little light line is all custom. So that's not us, that's you guys, whichever you try to customize it. Anything below that is all the built-in dashboards. And here's the concept. Home is where we decided these were the key things that we want to share, that you want to come look at it on a daily basis. You can change the time zone or time range just today. And most of the people do exactly that. They come here, just look at it today. They want to just see, what did I do today? Okay? And maybe you guys are just working whatever this practice is, they haven't done much today. So, but if I go back one day, they did $10,000 yesterday, and their treatment acceptance was about 12%. And they
need to work on that.
for this practice, yes.
Exactly, that practice needs some help. That's all right. Maybe it was a bad day.
Right. 3 patients were presented, 2 patients accepted. Maybe it was a very large case that was presented. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe they just started that. But being able to track that on a regular basis. And so this is that homepage that gives you that high-level information. What was my production? How many new patients did I get? What was my treatment acceptance? Okay. And the other thing also it shows you is that high-level hygiene treatment and what is my daily, hourly average production. Okay? So we have decided to take some very basic information and put on this homepage, because that's where most of our practices were wanting to see. From this point onwards, you can go ahead and create, of course, custom dashboard, but I'm going to go through and tell you what the logic behind splitting up these different areas was.
So for a new user like myself, as I'm learning this software, the best thing is to go to the home screen just to get, these are like the basic things that I really always usually look at. Then if I'm digging in for a specific area, I can go down into the rest of this.
Right.
Okay.
So first, the next one up is operational. I mean, what comes to your mind with operationals, which is appointments and how many are on the books and how many are canceled, how many patients came back, how many didn't come back. So how many of them have their cell phones entered, how many of them don't have it. So let's jump into operational. So just regular day-to-day stuff, right? That's what operational shows up. It tells you of all the patients that you saw, how many of them left without a pre-appointment. This is just high-level stuff again, right? High-level, operationally, 84% of patients have a pre-appointment. That's a good number to have. That's a great number to have. You're not digging in. You're not looking at how many were hygiene, how many were others. So we won't go through all of the KPIs, but just giving you an example, operational, day-to-day, in and out of the practice. How many future appointments do you have on the books? What percentage of your active patients have future appointments? Important to have. You want to get that as high as possible, right? Again, operationally, what's happening in your practice. where's your canceled and failed appointments? How many of them were reappointed?
Very interesting. These are a lot of the things that you have to, when you have people come ask you questions about your practice, you have to dig into the practice management software to find out these reports, and you have it all right here.
Yes. So, and it's also possible you haven't even looked at it yet. Because
right. True. I didn't know how many patients have cell. I'll have to go check mine because I don't know how many we have cell available. It's an interesting statistic to look at.
Yeah, it's important. Sometimes we get into a practice and they have like 30% of people that have cell phones. Then you ask them, and the response the front office gives you is, "Well, people don't have cell phone in our neighborhood."
Yeah.
So then okay, we need to have a discussion.
Yeah. Well, and if you think about the other things we use in the practice, like if you're using an appointment reminder service, if you don't have, for example, a lot of emails, then no wonder it's not working and your patients aren't showing up because they're not getting the email reminder.
Yeah. Most of your appointments not getting confirmed, right?
Right.
Like how many patients are working how many patients do you see average on a day? How many days did you work this particular month? How many hygiene hours? How many doctor hours? How many new patients have referral sources entered? That's another important one that we've talked about in one of the different videos. And when we talk about operational, here I can set a goal. I can say, I want my new patient referral count to be 100%. Okay, it needs to be 100% every time. So this office is closed, but not quite at 100%. But
I was trying to figure that out the other day, how to set the goals. Oh, good. I'm glad you just showed that to me.
We're going to do a whole video on goals because goals are very important, right? And that's where operational comes in. So since for the respective time, let's continue moving quickly. So patient flow is all about patients coming in, where they're coming in, if they're going inactive, what's happening with your patients. Okay, so this will tell you how many did you see, how many became inactive. Oh, sorry, how many did you new patients did you see? How many new patients did you enter? What is the active patient counts? Is the active patient counts going up or down? What does your retention look like, right? So your 12-month retention or a 9-month retention look like? This is patients that you're losing on a regular basis. How do your recalls look like? What percentage of your patients are recalls are current? That's all good stuff. And we've gone through this one. We won't go into this. But this is all about
patients. Okay, makes sense.
Demographics is exactly what it means. You can change the time zone, time range, and look at demographics by zip code. So I'm looking at current month. I can look at the last 12 months here and change.
Awesome. So this would be great to know for where you're marketing and where you're pulling your patients from. That's great.
Exactly. And at the bottom, we show you where the zip codes that they're coming in from.
Awesome. And patients by insurance and which insurance. That's great for when you're trying to decide if you're going to get on a network.
Yep.
When you're patients by age, who are you marketing to, and are you pulling in the right ages? Awesome. Very good information.
So that's all patient flow, and this is all based on the time range that you select. So if you want to look at just the 1 month, you can look at that, or you can look at the 5 years, you can look at that as well.
That's great. So like if you're doing a new marketing campaign, trying to target a certain, I don't know, demographic, you can see if it's working or not. Great. Okay, good. Patient flow, that's the easy one.
Yeah. So clinical is just, again, high level. Again, all of these are high level stuff that we're going in. Okay, in the next few sections, we'll start digging in deeper. Okay, so now high level, what is the treatment acceptance for the office? This was the page that we were at on the front page, right? This is the panel that was embedded on your home page.
Okay.
Which was showing what is the treatment acceptance. And I think remember we were somewhere over here. We were just looking at, I think it was at 12 or something, right? We were looking at yesterday when we were on the homepage, but here I am on the current month. So this will list your high level treatment acceptance, how much was presented, how much was accepted.
Okay.
With every single treatment plan over here.
Okay, great.
It also tells you clinically how many patients are coming in that need a treatment, not the new ones that you presented treatment. Any single patient that came in for even hygiene, if they needed treatment, did they schedule their treatment when they left?
Oh, great. Okay.
Okay. And that's all in the clinical part, which is what percentage of your patients are perio patients, what percentage of your patients are getting fluorides, your count restoration ratio, and your same day treatment. All that stuff is right here.
Okay, great.
In the clinical section. Financial, it is what exactly it is. It's all the financial stuff, your productions, your collections, your adjustments, your accounts receivables, your claims, and there's, I think, also some exceptions and all here, and we can go through that as well. So if you want to think about, if you want to do analysis on production, collection, adjustments, AR, and claims, this is where you come.
Okay. And we'll do a lot of videos in this area, I'm sure, because this is really important stuff to know.
Right. And we won't go into all of these, but let's just pick one or two examples. Let's just pick production. You can do it, so it gives you production level detail from a standpoint of drilling into. So I can look at, let's say, last year, and it'll give me all the production by each category. So doctor versus hygiene. Okay, so nice. I can look at percentages. I can drill in and see how is the production separated out. And the same thing applies to adjustments and collection. And we won't go into all of that stuff. Right. One quick thing about exceptions is the exceptions is trying to help you see something that you should be paying attention to. For example, if there are any major adjustments, and what we've said is $500 or more, and if there are any very low production items, some things that are normally sold for much higher, but there's very low items here.
Interesting. Okay, good. We're going to get into that another one. I don't want to get too buried in that, but that's really cool. I've never seen anything pull out of our software like that.
Right. Now we dig a little bit. The next two tabs are now diving deep into provider performance. Okay. This is about how much is each provider doing, how well are they working, you can measure their performance. So if ever you want to wonder about how's your hygienist working, this is where you come directly. Provider productivity. This will list all aspects of that provider, every single. So if I scroll down, production, what codes they are, their average production per hour, per procedure, their schedule utilization, their pre-appointment rates, doctor pre-appointment rates, their fluoride, perio. This is all provider-specific data.
Okay.
And right now we're selected on one provider, but you can go in and select any of the other providers that you want. So this is where you drill deep into provider performance.
Okay.
Okay. And the next part is drilling deep into treatment acceptance. How, and again, this is also per provider. So you can come here and select different providers to see how much treatment is being presented, how much of that is being accepted. How many patients are walking out the door. And there's quite a bit of detail here as well in terms of treatment presentation, new patient treatment presentation, recalls, and all that good stuff.
Right, and we'll do videos specific on that too, because I know my doctors have been really starting to pay attention to that since we've gotten into practice by numbers.
Right. The next tab, business, is how you're running your business. This has to do with QuickBooks, your expenses, your overhead, and it does all that calculation for you. Okay.
Excellent.
Opportunities. This is about making calls. This is about revenue IQ. So we're going to do a whole another video about what those opportunities mean. This is all outgoing calls that you're making to get those patients back in.
Excellent.
All KPIs is exactly what it states, all KPIs.
There are a lot of KPIs too. I know, I looked at that recently. That's crazy.
350. Nobody should be looking at 350 KPIs.
No, and for those who don't know what a KPI is, what is it?
It's a key performance indicator, or some people call it a monitor.
Okay. So are we done with the list? Did we get everything there? I know that.
We're done. The experimental one is where we try stuff out. People, sandbox.
So if you're watching this video, the one thing I'm going to tell you is there's a lot of information in here. And if you're anything like me, it's going to get overwhelming in the beginning. So what I would suggest is don't try to fix everything at once. Don't jump in here and go, we have to fix case acceptance and recares and reactivation and this. You're not going to be able to do it. So pick something. In my practice, one of the things we're doing is trying to reactivate. So we're doing a lot of the calls. So we're using Revenue IQ and watching that. But when you start using this, pick a thing. Pick whatever your topic of the month is. And that's what you're going to start monitoring. Use Front Office Rocks for training videos for the verbal skills. Come back here and see if you're improving in an area. Once you see that area improving, move on to the next category, because If you try to fix everything at once, you're probably not going to fix anything at all. So in essence of time, we're going to leave this video at this point. There's so much information here. So make sure if you haven't watched the other ones, subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can keep up with all of the great things that Practice by Numbers has to offer. Rohit, do you have anything else to say?
No, I think this is, I think I don't. I've already, I could talk for hours about this, but
which is why we limit the videos for you, right? Because this is your baby for sure. So
yes, and I think we're good here, and we'll come back, and again, as with you, we'll dig into different areas. And I think one thing that I do have to add is that you have to look at both sides of the coin. So there's numbers, understanding those numbers, and doing something with those numbers, and having the right training and the verbal skills. And that's where, Laura, you come in, and what you do is so important as well, that you have to be able to take those employees and those people who are working for you and make them into superstars.
Exactly. So great. So a combination of Practice by Numbers and Front Office Rocks. We're here to help you. And until next time, we'll see you on the next video.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks.